Hello there, I'm Julie, and I was born with dwarfism, so I am 40 years old and I'm only 3 feet tall. And I was also born blind. And today I'm going to attempt to answer a question I get all the time, which is what exactly can you see? Now, I do want to say that blindness can be a unique experience for each person because there are so many different causes and degrees of vision loss. So, I'm going to share my experience with you, but please keep in mind that it might be completely different from the experience of someone else you know who is blind. Now, before I get into my story, I just want to give you some quick information so we can make sure we're all on the same page. Okay? I promise I will make it quick. So, if you've ever been to your friendly neighborhood eye doctor, they probably had you look at a chart and you told them which letters on the chart you could read. And after that, your eye doctor at some point would give you a number that represents how well you see. And as you know, 20/20 vision is perfect. And then the bigger the bottom number gets, the worse your vision is, right? Everybody with me? So, in the United States, which is where I live, you are considered to be legally blind if your vision is 2200 or worse with correction. So, if you have 2200 vision, but you put in your contacts and then you can see better, that is not considered to be legally blind. It has to be 2200 or worse, and that's the best you can do with correction. Okay? Makes sense? So now let's get on with my story. I was actually born with a little bit of vision, but it was just super limited. I can't really tell you what's wrong with my eyes because I've never gotten an exact diagnosis, but I can tell you that the problem has to do with my retinas. Now, my left eye has never had any real vision in it, even from the time I was born. My left eye just sees light, and it's still that way today. My right eye has actually seen a little bit. When I was a kid, my right eye had 2400 vision. So that is well past legally blind. But even though I had very little vision, I was able to do some things. I could read regular print as long as the print wasn't too small. I needed books to be in large print or just, not too small. And then I also was able to see a few feet in front of me somewhat clearly. So I was able to walk around safely without using a cane or needing too much assistance. Now, some people find it interesting to know that I have never been able to see color. And the doctors told me that basically what I was seeing was just shades of gray. I really don't know. I don't know what gray is, so I can't tell you for sure. But when I was a kid, I could tell that something was lighter or darker than something else, but I've never known what color actually is. Even though my vision was limited as a kid, I made the most of it and I used it as much as I could. And I appreciated what I had. And then when I was 17, I actually lost the vision that I had. It was a big adjustment for me because it happened really quickly. Within the matter of a few weeks, I went from having 2400 vision to 201400. And I was in the middle of high school and it was a really crazy time for me. It was pretty scary, to be honest. And it made a huge difference in my life because I used to read print and walk around pretty safely and all that kind of good stuff. But then almost overnight, I wasn't able to do any of that anymore. So I basically had to learn how to do life as someone who had no usable vision. So I learned how to read Braille and I learned to use a cane as I walked. And I learned how to use other technology and things that helped me in everyday life. And that was about 24 years ago when that happened and when I lost my vision. And if you can imagine, my vision has actually gotten just a little bit worse since then. So the last time I went to my eye doctor, she told me that rather than using a number to represent my vision, I am now classified as having just light perception. And the abbreviation for light perception is LP. And I think that's actually really cool because I am also a little person. So the abbreviation for little person is also LP. And I love that I get to tell everybody I am an LP with LP. So now that I've finished explaining all of that, let me try to explain to you what exactly I see now. So, like I said, I am able to see light, but everything is just really, really blurry. But I can tell when it's light outside or when it's dark. I can tell if the light is on in a room. Although in the last several years, I would say the light has gotten dimmer, and sometimes it is harder for me to tell if a light is actually on or not. But a lot of times I can tell. And other than light, basically all I see is just a bunch of swirly, twirly dots and lines and just like squiggly, snowy stuff. Now, if you're an old person like me, you might remember something called cable TV. That was something that was a big deal when I was a kid. If you had cable TV, it meant that you got lots of cool new channels. But sometimes the cable would go out. So when you would turn your TV on, all that you would see on the screen is a bunch of snowy, scrambly stuff. And it was just a bunch of stuff that just was swirling all over the place, right? We called it snow. So if you've ever seen a snowy TV, that's the best example I can come up with to try to explain to you what I see all the time. And it doesn't matter what direction I'm looking in or if my eyes are open or closed, there's always this swirly, snowy stuff just constantly moving and shaking around in my vision. And actually, when I close my eyes or when I'm in a dark room, the blurry stuff gets brighter. And so that's one reason I have a hard time knowing if a light is on in a room sometimes, is because I can't tell, is it just the snow in my vision or is it an actual light in a room? And I usually just ignore the swirly twirly stuff. And, I've just gotten used to it over the years and it's just there always. So I don't pay attention to it. It doesn't really bother me. However, when I focus on it and think about it too much, it might make me feel just a little bit crazy. So I generally don't think about it too much. Even though my vision is so blurry and all I see is light, I am really thankful for the light that I can see. And I think I use that light more than I even realize. I've been trying to pay attention lately so that I can explain to you what I see. And I'm realizing I actually do. I use light when I'm navigating around my house. So, for example, if I'm walking in one direction, I might say to myself, oh, I see some light coming from that direction over there. That must be the living room window. I will keep walking that way. Or if it's nighttime, we actually have a lot of little night lights in different places around our house, and they really do help me navigate in the dark. Or like if I'm in a dark hallway or if it's nighttime, I use those lights to make sure I'm lined up and walking the right way. So I really am grateful for the light that I have, and I do use it a lot. Now, if I leave my house, it's a different story. I cannot navigate by myself when I'm outside of my familiar surroundings and, when I'm in my house. So if I leave the house, if I go somewhere else, a public place or your house or whatever, I basically just have to stand still and hope that someone will help me get around. But I'm blessed with lots of amazing people that help me to navigate and get around my surroundings wherever I am. So I am very thankful for that. Now, when I meet someone for the first time, they often can't tell by looking at me that I'm blind. So sometimes that can be kind of awkward because they might try to shake my hand and they don't know I can't see. So I may not respond to their handshake because I don't know it's there. So if that happens to you, if we ever meet in real life and you try to shake my hand and I don't respond and take it, please accept my apology in advance. It's not you, it's me. It's just that I can't see you. So typically, I try to stick my hand out first when I'm meeting someone, so that way they can take my hand and it's not quite so awkward. But I will say one of the hardest scenarios for me is at church on Sundays. There's always a point when everybody starts to like greet each other and we all say hi and shake hands with the people around us. And sometimes that's really hard for me because there are people coming at me from all different directions and I don't know who's going to try to shake my hand next and which way do I look and which way do I reach my hand out. So it's kind of funny. I just like to laugh at it, but sometimes I feel bad because people don't know I can't see and they probably think, oh, okay, she's weird or she's rude. And I will also say the same thing applies to someone waving at me from across the room or smiling at me. I will not see that you're waving or you're smiling and I won't respond. And I am so sorry. Again, it's not you, it's me. I can't see you're there. Now, I do have one request for you. Please do not throw a ball at me and expect me to catch it because I won't. And it might break my nose or something, and you'll have to take me to the hospital. And that just doesn't sound like a fun time for anybody. So there you go. That is my description of what I can see and a few details about what my life is like as someone who is blind. And I hope this video has been helpful and encouraging for you, or at least interesting. And if you are someone who is also visually impaired, I really hope this video has shown you that you are not alone. And you know what? We are all in this thing together. Whether you have vision or you don't, or you have other challenges that you deal with. I mean, you guys, we all have challenges and we are all on our own unique journeys. So I hope that my channel can be a place where we can all support and encourage each other. And I just want to do life together. And I think we can have some fun along the way. So if you want to leave me a comment and share your story with me, tell me something about your journey or where you are on your journey right now, whatever it is you want to share, I would love to read whatever you want to write. And if you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask. Just leave your question in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Or I might even answer your question on a future video. I hope you will join me again soon. If you want to subscribe to my channel, I am planning to do all kinds of fun things in the future. So please follow along with me if you want to know what crazy things I'm going to do next. And until our next video, I hope you have a great day. Stay healthy and well. God bless you, and I will see you on our next video.